This is the North End. This is the North End.
Welcome to the North End YouTube channel. It is time for reviews and previews. I am blessed with Mr. Paul Forrest, Mr. JP California, Mr. Luke Connolly. I will start with you, Mr. Forrest. Good to see you, brother. How are you doing? It's a fine day.
Good, man. Yes, good. Yes, positive affirmation with conviction.
I like it. It's a quick, simple answer. JP, good to see you, buddy. You've blurred out the background now. We can only just see your giant head, which is much better. Let's.
It's terrible out, actually. It's too hot.
Is everything on fire?
It's about 90 degrees in California. I don't know what that is for you Canadian numbers.
About 38 degrees, probably.
Yeah, it's fucking super hot, and I just got out of the dentist. So, drill, baby, drill.
Nice. Are you slurring your words a little bit? Or are we gonna get a little?
No, I'm taking my tongue and just keep rim jobbing my teeth, and I'm like, all right, that's new, that's fresh, that's
clean,
well defined. Yeah, that's nice and clean.
What happens if he actually can do like names better in this pod?
All of a sudden,
before.
He's rinsing it off now with the water though. It's ruining. Mr. Connolly, good to see you, buddy. You are in Alabama now? Where are you at?
I wish, mate. I wish. Sweet home. No, I'm in Mexico still.
Still Mexico.
Just, keeping my head down and honestly, this week looking like a bit of a fantasy legend. Forgetting to change the team. That bit of forgetfulness proving to be brilliant. Jota. I don't think I captained him, but I had him in the team. So that's 2 goals and Salah. I knew Salah wouldn't play though. It was too much. It was too much too soon. There was no way he was going to.
I didn't bring him back in either. I didn't even think of fantasy until after today, and I was like, oh
yeah, you and I are useless. We even talked about it. You and I literally talked about our podcast, and we both forgot.
Yeah, I mean, it's just other things on my mind that are more important than fantasy football, and it's such a mess this season as well with all the games happening different times.
Nothing is more important than fantasy football, Brian. I'll just stop you right there.
Okay, well, I think I'll disagree with on that one, but
right. And also,
agree to disagree.
Hold up.
Mo Salah did play, and he hit the crossbar, so he could have got you a goal.
I'm confused. How does fantasy work if you have one game week at a different time? Like they're at different game weeks at different weeks. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's all messed up. It's obviously with the COVID and everything that things get messed up, and that was one of the things that suffered is fantasy football. So I've just kind of rode it. I did a little bit of work a few weeks ago, and I've been like, that's all right. I'm still getting the same amount of points, 20, 30 above average, which is okay. I'm down with that.
Guy, was it? I think 6 or 7. No, it wasn't that long. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. As of last week, there was a fantasy player that captained one of the Southampton defenders when they conceded 8. He also got sent off, so he got a -8, and the guy triple captained him for some strange reason. So I think it's the biggest loss in fantasy football history. One guy managed to get -24 points from a player.
That's incredible. That's incredible. I love that.
Sorry, I got lost because I was just checking my fantasy scores. I'm in the same pool as Luke in the Aston Villa Toronto club, just because I wanted to be a shit talker United fan, and I kept having to scroll down until I found him. I was just like, where is he?
You could probably
where is he?
You could probably do that with the one I'm in with you, Paul, too. I think maybe I'm mid-table there, a lower mid-table.
Oh, I always know where to find you, Brian.
Yeah, it's pretty standard fare.
We're all checking our fucking fantasies.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get on to some real football, lads. Good little segue there. We're going to bring up some results from this week. It has been a pretty crazy week. Lots of games to talk about. Paul, I'm going to pass this over to you, buddy.
Guys, what an exciting week of football. I love midweek football. I love it so much. It's so much better than waking up early on a weekend. All the games are like later in the day. You can do things like
the weekend football myself.
Occasionally. But we started off with New Look Newcastle surprising the not surprising, I guess. Maybe just giving everybody at Everton exactly what they deserve.
Ryan Fraser's shocking.
Ryan Fraser's first goal for Newcastle gives them a critical 3 points for struggling Everton, and new manager Frank Lampard. With the 3 points, Newcastle escaped the relegation zone and put together 2 wins in a row for the first time this season. For Everton, a forgettable debut for Dele Alli, Van de Beek, and Frank Lampard.
Yeah,
Ivanovic
those
play?
two coming on as subs as well. Not in the starting lineup, which I think is interesting. I mean, it maybe just they weren't up to snuff yet, or it wasn't thought that they were up to snuff yet. And they did come on eventually, and
I think
didn't really do much of
that's
anything.
Frank putting his foot down, Bri. Actually, I think there was would he just roll out the big names, and he decided no, I'm gonna show face and stick with the guys who've been playing, and that went terribly. But realistically, like, are we seriously thinking that Everton might go down? Like, are they?
Yeah.
that bad?
They're in
Yeah,
the
they're that bad.
conversation. I think they have enough in that side now that, and I think Lampard is savvy enough. He's not like a crazy good manager, but I think he's savvy enough to keep them up, because there's 3 teams that are worse than Everton, and I think that's
that's
what's
like Norwich is even playing better.
It's Norwich. They may be playing better, but they're still not. They're still
They're
not
playing better. Freaking Watford is getting points. Burnley's getting points. The only person not getting points right now is Everton, man.
Yeah, I get that, but
terrible.
as I just said, JP, just because they're not getting points doesn't mean they don't have enough in that side to. There's a half a season left, JP.
Well, let's call it what it is, though, guys.
half a
Let's be clear about who the race is with. It's Newcastle, Burnley, and Everton right now.
Yeah.
Of those teams, Burnley have been there before, and they always manage to seem to get results and escape. And
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe it's Everton. I just think
Newcastle
that,
spent
I
90
think
million
Everton
in
have
points.
enough in that side to
I
stay
can't
up.
see Burnley doing it this year. Honestly, it's
can't
been
see
too
them.
many
They're too-
years, and I think they're out of luck, man. They just haven't got enough in that team. Unless this giant that they've signed can start like bagging Peter Crouch header based goals, and I don't know, but like JP might have a point. The only thing that's doing them justice, JP, is that Everton have 2 games in hand, and Norwich, who have 2
Norwich.
less points than that's ridiculous than they do. So without the games in hand, like I
Yeah.
don't know. Like,
I just think Everton have enough in their team to go on a run of 2 or 3 wins in a row, and I don't think any of the other teams do. Like, if you look at the Calvert-Lewin, Dele Alli, these players, like, they're good enough players that they'll put something together to stay up. I agree that they'll be on the cusp of it.
It's going to be
But
really
that-
fun to see who goes down this year, because it's
always
literally
fun to see who
5
goes down.
teams within 4 points, 5 points of each
watch
other.
Villa go down now. Now that we've
Fuck
said that, like,
you.
out of nowhere, just an
Nah,
unbelievable
can't see that. Can't
losing
see
streak.
that.
That's not happening. Good luck.
All right. Well, we do know the next team is going to go down. West Ham 1, Watford 0. Bowen continues his hot form and gives West Ham the win over relegation-bound
Love him.
Watford. Bowen has now been directly involved in 14 Premier League goals in 24 Premier League games this season, with 7 goals and 7 assists. Only Mo Salah has been involved in more this season. This game was not an entertaining watch, and it did not feel at all like there was a lot of fight in Watford. So I guess we just have no choice but to talk about the one controversy in all this: Zuma Gate. Zuma, filmed by
His best friend, apparently.
a mystery
He's his
filmer.
brother.
Or brother.
No,
That's
they've
right.
actually-
plays for another
Which
team.
is even worse, right? That's
Yeah,
mad.
who plays
His
for another
brother's
team?
been
He's
suspended.
suspended, and Kurt Zuma wasn't. What fucking
Well,
horseshit?
okay, come on. It's great that you're all reacting, but let me finish to the audience who may not
No.
know what the fuck you're talking about.
No, let's just
Filmed
Everyone
kicking
go.
and smacking his cat, and then which is stupid and it's crazy and it's deplorable. But the idiocy of posting that on social media after the fact is just a circus clown act of poor behavior.
Pretty amazing.
West Ham, in a bonkers PR move, said, "Yeah, but he's one of our best defenders, so he's playing." And
No, I don't think West Ham said. I think
No,
No,
David
David
Moyes
Moyes
said
said it, which is
And
even
you have to
David
worse.
remember
Moyes
where
said
David
it.
Moyes is from. David Moyes, where David Moyes is from, and when he grew up. If that was the smallest thing that man ever saw, that was a well looked after cat. A cat getting booted around the house. This is a different type of time and a different man. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Did you see what Antonio?
are you
said
saying that
before
everybody
the
from Glasgow beat up on animals? Because I'll stab you in the face, you cunt.
start? Exactly.
There you go.
We're not
Wow,
10 minutes.
we're
We're
on
not
YouTube.
We're
10
not
minutes.
getting past 10 minutes and the C word has come out. I mean, good thing we're not monetized.
That's gonna do our
guys.
YouTube rating a load of
See
good.
you,
Wow,
Jimmy.
Lord.
We're not
See
monet-
you.
We're not monetized.
Don't you
It's
talk
not
about
an
my
issue.
family that way, sunshine.
You're funny as
Practicing that.
scumbags, and I stand by it. No, but Antonio,
too.
very quickly, I'll put it to you, Paul, because you're so vocal about it. Antonio made a very interesting point, and the reporter was like, "Well, they're not really relevant." But Antonio said there's a number of players who have played this at the moment or in the last couple of years that have been, criminally prosecuted, for racial, and
a lot of them.
Yeah, charge and racism on the pitch, and yet they're still allowed to play. So you saying that animal cruelty? He's like, I'm not condoning it, and it like I gotta be honest, I've not watched the video. I need to really watch it. Like, it's not right. But I don't know. Like, should West Ham be saying like no?
Okay,
like,
couple of things.
Maybe drop him for
number
a couple
one.
weeks.
Number one, Antonio, to his credit, also says I am so against what he did.
Oh, he said
he was very clear about it. What he did was fucked up. And he didn't, like, without throwing him out into the bus, he was just like, it's not about me defending what he did. What he did was so bad. And then he used it as an opportunity to bring up that racism is still a thing and that people don't get as worked up his point about racism as they do about what he did to a cat, which is, any time and place you can bring up racism, go for it. But the reality is the two things are totally separate. I don't know that this guy needs to never play again. I don't think anybody should cancel him. I think that's the extreme. But like,
fine, suspended.
there should be a certain period of
$250,000,
just like as just a publicist,
and his cats got taken away.
You sit him for a little while.
Yeah,
devastated about
bench
that.
him.
Or
You
SPCA
roll
took it
out.
2
He's
weeks.
doing sensitivity training, and he's working with the animal rights
make
groups.
a motion to go through the act. Like, don't even.
I'll
You
tell you what,
find out who
by the
Michael
way,
Vick's
season three-
publicist was.
Season 3 of Tiger King. Season 3 of Tiger King is
All
going
right,
to be a
guys.
hell of it.
Let's
Really
get back to
exciting
the,
now.
Get back to the scores, yeah. Maybe.
Fucking
It was
Zuma.
terrible.
just as
and,
bad as Manu.
Sadly, that was the talking point from this. game.
Was the guy
Nothing
beating
else
up on an animal as bad as the next event?
No,
That's
no,
your
no, I
segue.
said
You thought that
it
was
is-
appropriate?
It is bad.
That
I
is.
said, no,
that is
that's
good.
not that point I was making.
Alrighty, moving on.
We at the North End do not. JP does not speak to all of us. We take these things seriously. It's not to be made light
Take
of.
my
There's no
words out of
jokes in this.
context.
You disgust me, you Californian nutbag. Burnley won. Man United won. Man United dropped points to
Kidding me.
resilient Burnley. This is a tale of two halves. Man United dominating the first, scoring two and having them called back, and scoring one. So it could have been a very different game with the first half. But ultimately, Burnley fight their way back, and thanks to a Harry Maguire mistake, earn a point. New Burnley signing, Weghorst, giant of a man, is the man of the match.
He looks all right,
And
doesn't he?
with this draw, Burnley jump out of relegation, and Man United drop out of the top four.
Burnley don't drop out of
I'm
relegation.
sorry, what? Where
Burnley
are
are
you getting your
last.
stats from? They're 14
Temporarily
points.
that day they dropped out.
Oh, I
No.
see. That's
Oh,
fair.
for maybe an hour.
in the moment, yeah.
In the
That's what
moment
he's saying.
for an
That's what
hour.
he's saying. We're still on Tuesday. We're still reviewing Tuesday, so he's on point.
Correct.
I just misunderstood how you.
I love the efforts to poke holes in it and derail the
No,
conversation.
how
Good
does that
though.
make
No,
sense?
just look, I was literally
That's-
looking
I'm like
at
a cat.
No, I'm sorry. I'm still saying no because Watford had 15 before. Burnley
JP,
got a
does
point
it matter?
14.
Does it ultimately matter?
Hold on, proving you wrong.
Cool. We have a live audience. This is not great content right now, bud.
Hold on, you're lying to the audience.
Why don't you make more jokes about attacking animals?
Hold, now you're just trying to
Yeah,
jump
JP.
off the subject. Fuck off.
No, we were all very PC. in
All
this
right, so
podcast before you turned
1-1
up.
Man United. There's a football to talk about here. This is a big
I'll
deal.
talk about
Well,
this
let's
game
keep
because I'm
this
actually a
about
Man
cats
United fan.
only.
This is a terrible result for Man United. The world blew up after this game, as maybe it should. I don't know. Complete dominance, total dominance in the first half. Weren't terrible in the second half, but as soon as Harry Maguire made yet another complete, total fucking where's your head mistake, and the game was tied, it just never felt like Man United were going to get back to win this game. Burnley are too resilient, and their shape got way better in the second half. As a Man United fan personally, my only real emotion to this game was real frustration because there was a second goal that I thought was super, super soft in that the referee called it back. A linesman raised his flag 10 seconds after the goal was scored. It was very odd to me. The amount of contact that was involved in the foul was like the kind of contact that happens in the box on every kick. It gets not called so often that when they do call it and they call back a goal, it just feels like there's no consistency, and that's been a real thing this entire season was consistency. But beyond that, Burnley, well-deserved draw. I
It's
thought
something
they
they've been
played really
doing pretty well this season, isn't it, Burnley?
Yeah.
I think they've come back. I don't know how many times it is from 1-0 down to get a result. Most draws in
This
the
is
league.
this
Even
result's
more
a bit of a
even more than-
microcosm of their entire season. Like
Yeah,
have a
even more
terrible
than
first
Brighton.
half and then crawl back and to get something out of it. It's exactly what they like. It's a small version of what they do on a season scale.
Yeah, I agree, and it was a good yeah, 100%. It's a good example of what we've seen from them this season. Another draw, I think more draws than Brighton now this season, which is saying a lot. Onward.
No, Brighton have 12.
Are they still more than?
They have one more, yeah.
Okay, so it's around the same. The two teams
Yeah.
that continue to do the same thing over and over again. That one, it's also 1-1, I think, almost all the time as well. So, yeah, good stuff. Onward.
Man City crush Brentford 2-0. Could be the end of it, but it feels boring, so I won't just say it simply as that. It's a stroll. Mahrez scores with his goal. He becomes a guy who scores 7 goals in consecutive games, not Premier League games, but all competition games. He is just the third player to play under Pep Guardiola to achieve this feat. Lionel Messi and a little guy named Aguero are the only other 2 players to have done it. But there is a complete and utter next level that are happening at Man City that it's getting boring. Frankly, it's boring.
Yeah. It's pretty bad when
I didn't even bother to look at it. I didn't even look at the highlights. It's just like the same thing. It's just them like flooding the fucking other team's box for like 90 minutes straight and trying to break through, and the other team being as resilient as possible, but never having enough, and them scoring at least 2 goals and the other team not scoring at all.
Brian, I agree. Man City are ruining the league.
They are.
It's not. I totally agree. It's ruining kind of EPL while Man City walk through a league they've won by December. But isn't this becoming like every other league now?
It is.
Instead of it being like, hey, you can be the final month and 2 or 3 teams could be battling for the top first. It's like, this is Borussia Dortmund. This is Atletico or Real Madrid. This is Juventus all over again. PSG. It's like, okay, this is getting fucking boring. Let's get some teams.
Yeah, but Juventus are 5th in the league right now. PSG
right now.
Lost the league to Lille last year. It's like, if you're going to draw
titles in how many years?
I do think it goes in cycles, right? Like it does. Man City will lose Pep Guardiola at some point, and that will change. It will change. No, it will. I mean, they're not going to.
Yeah, United dominated for years, didn't they?
Yeah, so City are going to have their moment. Yes, they have the money, but they will.
Paul doesn't like it because it's not his team dominating for once.
No,
it's classic other side of Manchester.
No, I call bullshit.
Classic Manchester.
I just hate.
I'm gonna ask that I speak for myself in future, Luke, and I'll say what my point is. I don't know that we necessarily know what cycles look like for Man City now that they're top dog, because nobody's had a team with this complete and utter financial strength.
True.
Be in this position. So the natural assumption is, they're going to cycle in, they're going to cycle out, but nobody's had a super rich team to this extent. Like even PSG.
Isn't United spent as much though as City, or close to the same amount of
money? No, when United were dominant, they were not financially.
Right. When they dominant, they weren't, right? Okay.
Able to flex this way. So when they had natural cycles, even under Ferguson, it wasn't like they could go spend 500 million on just the back 4. Like the new reality to this is that we don't know what Man City's cycle looks like, and we'll find out after Pep Guardiola looks like. But the strength of their bank accounts and the Arab nation behind them, like, we don't know what the reality is. They may just always be very comfortably the top dog.
Could happen
until Newcastle catches up and they have the same equal parity for like spending.
Well, let's see what happens when Guardiola's gone. I do think losing him as a manager will have a dip. Whether that dip lasts or not is another question. But I do think there'll be a dip.
It all depends on
Steve Bruce.
When they hire Arteta to replace
Man City.
Yeah, Arteta comes in.
That's it. Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? He's
Could
doing
happen.
A decent job.
It could happen.
Paul.
Not quite as boring as that game, but pretty close. Norwich won. Crystal Palace won. Norwich survive a terrible Zaha penalty and earn a point against Crystal Palace. Dean Smith and his Canaries are now unbeaten in the last 3 Premier League games with 2 wins and a draw, which is good timing to get those points because they have Man City and Liverpool coming up next. So watch that space. But yeah, Wilfred Zaha. Has anybody seen a worse penalty in the Premier League besides that piece of shit?
No, not in the Premier League, but Champions League final, yeah.
Well,
John Terry with that slip.
But he had a reason. Like,
at least it was a slip. Yeah, it wasn't just a blatant miss, right?
Yeah.
Like that was
shocking, really.
I mean, I think Zaha slips a little bit for sure.
Can we load that up, Brian? Can we see that penalty? I haven't seen it. You got time?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he does slip quite a bit.
I think
we'll circle back. If we can pull it up, we'll pull it up.
Yeah, we'll cycle back. Yeah.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible is a good word to summarize the feelings of many when I get to Spurs 2, Southampton 3. Southampton pull off a stunning late comeback to shock Spurs.
Hang on. I
3-2.
got to show the penalty now. It's good timing for
Yeah,
him.
I'm sure
He needs a
well,
minute to
he's got a
think
lot to
about
talk
it.
about. He's doing
I
us something.
see.
Good lad,
It's all
Brian.
right.
I'm gonna
Hang
go.
on,
I'm
hang
gonna
on.
go
Let me
right
get rid of
back
the
to this game
commercial.
with the same level of gusto.
So let me get rid of the commercial here, and then we can check it out. I think this will be it.
Wilfred Zaha fouled in the box
I'm gonna
to
also,
win the game is given a free opportunity at a penalty. Can he score?
Okay, so let me.
Let's
I've got it. I've
wait
got it ready here.
and
Let me just
see.
get on over to back to the page. Takes a second. It's gonna be good, guys. It's gonna be good. Better be worth it.
Dun dun dun.
It better be worth it.
Better be worth
Jeez, I
it.
don't know. The pressure now.
All right, playing the video.
There we go.
Full screen. Full screen. Full
Oh,
screen.
you know what? It's not even going to show it. It's going to be one of those videos that you
Palace
can't.
Oh, no.
YouTube EPL highlights.
Oh,
Go to the NBC highlights.
All right, well, I
Oh.
stopped it. Sorry, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, it was really
It's
bad.
not like we're trying to show the audience. We're just trying to show Luke because he's too lazy to
I know.
Google search it himself.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
yeah,
true.
I'm of course you're showing the audience. It's a lovely
It
podcast.
Luke.
man.
It was
What if other
absolutely.
people haven't seen it?
They
It was
seen
absolutely terrible. It was very bad. Very bad.
Okay,
Everybody's
I'll check
seen
out.
it.
Talking of terrible,
like
Brian,
everybody
how
has
was that
seen-
this
I mean,
weekend?
his goal was amazing, though.
He made up for
It was good.
Yeah, that
We're
was
past
a
it now.
spectacular goal.
That was worth saying when we were talking about that game. We're talking about Southampton pulling off a major upset, shocking Spurs 3-2. Justice for Southampton, who felt that Spurs' second goal by Son should not have stood with the foul, the insane foul leading up to the goal. I agree with Southampton on this entirely. The loss is a big hit for Spurs' battle for the top four. Conte saying after the match that Spurs were too emotional to see the game out.
He's not
What
wrong.
a crazy, fun game to watch for a variety of reasons. I was not rooting against Spurs. That's not what this is about. But when the Spurs score the second goal and I saw the replay of the foul that wasn't called, I was so... The injustice level was through the roof for me. So when Southampton came back to tie and then win the game, I was like, this is just such a great game of football. I lost my mind. But I'm not a Spurs fan, so I want to hear from a Spurs fan, obviously, about this game. Brian, what's up?
the shithousery of that introductory. Oh
Yeah.
my
I mean,
God.
it's fine. I can handle the shithousery. It's well deserved. Spurs were fucking terrible in this game from the kickoff. Just didn't show up. Essentially, Southampton did. Southampton, to their credit, and the caveat is there. That is deserved. They played probably the best game they played this season, especially away. They haven't been good away at all. They've been pretty poor. I think their record away was. I can't remember the specifics of it, but it was so bad that it was going. I think that maybe played to the way Spurs approached the game was they were just really didn't show up. Like all the best players didn't show up. Højbjerg was terrible, taken off early. Harry Winks was absolute garbage. Like it was one of the worst games I've seen him play, and that's saying a lot because he's been pretty bad. Just across the board, nothing was good, positive about it, and still even getting close to winning it. That really just comes down to the quality in the team. When you get the chances, they had the players to get those chances. Of course, I recognize that foul was a foul, and the goal probably shouldn't have stood, but it did. We've been fucked on a number of occasions this season, so it's nice to get one back a little bit.
Brian,
but
wasn't that
I
like
understand it.
kind of a wild non-call? I get that. I mean, Son doesn't know it's a foul or not a foul. You guys don't have a say in whether it's called or not. But like, just objectively in that moment, it's not like a wild miss by that referee.
I think it could be, and I'm like, I sort of looked at it on a few replays over and over again to try to figure out what the ref might have been considering, and
Right.
and of course from the referee's perspective, I don't know the specific rule of it, but if you look at the players, Royale is in the air, jumps in the air to head it, isn't looking him at all, and the Broha kind of backs up into him. And now Broha's moving naturally that way. It's not like he's backed into him intentionally, but he's backed up into him as Royale jumps. And Royale, all he can do is put his arm down to try to brace himself. So arguably, maybe the ref's thinking in the moment, because it happened so fast, that it was just a circumstantial situation. But you look at the replay and it's like it's pretty obvious. That would be a call to foul any other time. So it was surprising that it wasn't.
Yeah,
We got away with
especially
one.
'cause he went
Got away
down
with
and he
one.
was holding his head. I was like, this is for so many different reasons.
Yeah. The headshot in first and foremost, you're supposed to stop the game immediately if that happens, right? Which is the rules. Again, Spurs got away with one. Didn't matter because Southampton did what we did to Leicester last week, and 2 goals in 3 minutes from the 2 crosses from Ward-Prowse, who's just a fucking magician with the ball at his feet. Unbelievable
He's
passes.
unreal. Yeah.
Two exactly in the same spot, two different goals. Royale, worst player on the pitch in both, at fault for both goals, and at fault for a lot of other things that was wrong with the team. So yeah, that's my assessment.
It's amazing to me.
We deserve to
right,
lose.
how bad Tottenham are, some of these performances when we talk about them, especially this one. If you just look at the starting 11, like it shouldn't even be comparable. Like the starting 11 for Spurs,
I wouldn't say the starting 11. I would say the starting 8. And then there's like 4 or 5 key players that are.
Emerson doesn't count.
Well, I mean, he
I'm
counts.
talking
I'm just saying. Luke is probably saying how good they are, but like Winks was barely in the side, barely in the team the last 3 seasons or 2 seasons. Royale is like is a 21-year-old who's just trying to get his feet and isn't really very good as a wing back, and he's being played in that position. He's trying to figure out his craft. He's not very good at it.
Weren't we just saying how good he was? Weren't we just a couple of weeks talking about how?
No. I wasn't saying. Yeah, I'm 100% sure. I never said anything about Royale being good. I'm saying he has potential to be good. He's got some. He did some things that were good against against Brighton in the FA Cup when he didn't have to defend. But when he has to defend, he's fucking useless. And that's kind of the problem with him. Anyway, point being is we're really good going forward when we get into those positions. There's 2 or 3 defenders that aren't very good, and our midfield isn't nearly as solid without Skip or arguably one of the new guys coming in to fix it.
How was Bentancur?
When he came on, he changed the game.
Classy.
He came on. He was it was a step above Winks immediately.
So classy.
It's like 2 or 3 passes immediately. I was like, that's what we've been missing. That's what we've been missing. Like not even just missing in the game, but missing generally. It was like, holy shit.
From a deep position,
really nice.
Beat 6 different guys with a cross field ball low on
like
the deck.
Third touch ball. It was like
that went straight into the line of, I think it was Lucas Moura on the outside of the right. Yep. And it was just such a classy, like as a guy who doesn't have a midfield for Man United, and I watch all the Man United games, seeing a guy who's able to be just a really, I'm going to make this look simple kind of a player.
Deep line playmaker is what we're desperate for in that midfield. And Winks is not that player. Skip isn't that player. Højbjerg was terrible, and he's also not that player. I hope he starts next game and he's fit enough to do it, because I think that changes the game completely if he's in the midfield for the entire game. He played 30 minutes.
Just the enjoyment level should increase, because
it's just fun to watch.
Highlight passes,
for sure. Anyway,
it was a tough day.
It was
a tough day.
Talking of tough days.
Aston Villa 3, Leeds 3. A frantic game with 5 first half goals. See Leeds earn a point with a 63rd minute Llorente goal. Dan James scores 2 goals for Leeds. Jacob Ramsey with 2 for Aston Villa. But the man of the match goes to Philip Coutinho, who pulled the strings for Aston Villa with 2 assists and a goal. I love this game. This was just so open-ended, super frustrating. I think if you wanted either team to defend, but otherwise, like, what a fun game of basketball that was played out in the grass.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch it because my game was on at the same time. But it was a 15-minute difference. So when halftime hit, I flipped over to the Villa Leeds game and then flipped at the end of the game did the same. And it was just, even in that brief half an hour that I got to watch it, it was like, this is fun. This is good.
JP California is working on a 5 things learned for Aston Villa game summary on this, so he's going to have some thoughts. But real quick, boil it down. What happens here? Crazy first half. Crazy first half.
Insane first half.
Is this just like you guys falling into the Bielsa ball trap and allowing it to be open-ended and free-flowing, or is this just like, if you're playing Leeds, why not just go for it?
Well, I'll start first, Luke, if you don't mind. I feel like
no, please, yeah.
I feel like Dean Smith, and I'm starting with Dean Smith earlier, his first match against Leeds, he kept it very open. We ended up getting thumped. Second match, he closed shop. It seemed like when we tried to play Leeds, we wanted to start with a very closed shop feel to it. We wanted to be very conservative, not let them get it opened up. And as soon as like 10 minutes hit, it opened up. And the match just started flowing. And it was like Leeds suckered us into Leeds style play because they got us first at like the 8-minute mark. At that point, Villa are chasing the game. They start opening up. And as soon as we start opening up, Coutinho comes alive. And he looked magical. He's getting right in between the different spaces. He's finding pockets of space. He's collecting. He's turning. He did it like 7 or 8 times. Where
his ball for that tying goal was absurd.
It was great. But he did it several times where he checks from a wide positions into a center mid position we play through the lines past their midfield. He gets a guy on his back. He shimmies one way, and then as he collects the ball, goes the opposite way and loses his mark. And he did this constantly. It was beautiful. His passes were so good. His first pass, a check over his shoulder, right foot into a run that was behind him when he initially got the ball, was great. Now that I'm done wanking him off, our defense looked absolutely trash. I mean, Cash got an assist and looked like a headless chicken. Luke Dean looked really good in attack and was mild at one-on-ones. Konza looked absolutely devoid of all confidence. Their first goal, Dan James collects the ball, turns and shoots, and Konza doesn't close down space. Mings gets out jumped by Dan James for their second. He clears.
Hang on. 5'3" Dan James.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, like nothing. Right?
No, the guy's not 5'3", sure.
He's like 5'7".
Oh, why are the short guys always so sensitive about that extra inch?
Because Luke is 5'3".
Because it's quite important. Why are you so sensitive about the 3 hairs you have on your head? Because it's necessary for you not to be bald. So, draw lines where you want to draw lines.
Here we go.
And then the third goal,
you did
right before the third goal, Mings had saved the ball off the line, like straight to his face. A second time, Cash gets basically manhandled in the box. He doesn't do anything, and Martinez doesn't come and collect it. Heads it down, hits Mings. Mings hits it away. Back to the guy. Guy finishes. Just absolute Everton type defending right now, like absolute trash. So I don't know. It was magical going forward and beat up Pinto in defense. I don't know.
You're boring, Luke. By the way, just
apparently.
Just so
Sorry, I'm not. Yeah, we'll let Luke have his mantle for a second.
Luke, does the tequila worm make watching this kind of game easier or harder?
Well, I think the lack of internet made it almost impossible. So I didn't watch this game live, but I've seen a little bit, reading the comments and just kind of taking it in. And I think it's classic Villa right now. There's no question we have talent in this team, young talent, exciting talent going forward, but we're just not there defensively still. I think that, Matty Cash linked to Atletico Madrid. For me, if we can get 50, 60 million for Matty Cash, I'll take it. I want to keep Cash. I don't hate Cash, but there's enough in him that made me go, ooh, I don't think he's 100%. Luca Digne, like when Everton let him go, he's a great player in forward. But there's an awful lot of people that would say he dives in and he's very, very likely to pick up a booking. He's not a great one-on-one defender, so we know that. Now it all comes back to that centre-back partnership, and I think JP probably called it. I think Eric Konza is not confident.
Ezri.
I think Ezri, is not confident. And it comes with, with having the confidence in the guy next to you. And I think Mings is such a leader for so much, and then just has those unique moments of just forgetfulness or stupidity that kind of ruin his game. And I think that kind of rocks others around him. And it's not, by any means is this a Mings issue. It's a Villa defensively. They're just not working as a unit. If they can get that sorted, it's a very different story, because obviously going forward with the likes of Buendia and Ramsey and Coutinho and Ings and all this kind of stuff, it's exciting. But until we kind of cement that back four, it's going to be an issue. And I think Stevie knows that, and I think Stevie will do a really good job now. I don't think he'll really tear into him, but yeah, not a great week defensively by any means.
Hell of a game to watch. Just as
great first half. That first half was amazing.
Coutinho was on magic. I thought the best version of Leeds Bielsa ball was on display as well. I just really enjoyed the showcase. Much less entertaining. Liverpool 2, Leicester 0. Liverpool comfortably beating Brendan Rodgers, who's in a bit of a hole of his own making and a little bit of a hole of circumstances and injuries. But Liverpool do so without Mo Salah or Mane. Salah on the bench, Mane not available at all. But it's a league debut for new boy Luis Diaz for Liverpool, but it's Jota and his 2 goals today that stole the show. I don't know, man. This is it's good for the league that Liverpool are keeping pace with Man City. It's good that they're performing really well. I think if you see the way they're playing now, I think they've got to be a favorite for even Champions League contention. They're definitely ramping up. None of that that worry about AFCON affecting them. They didn't really drop any results while their stars were away. It's going to be potentially exciting. It just feels like maybe the league is still a little too far away for them to impact it. But whereas Leicester, I don't know. I'm hearing a lot of chatter from Leicester fans that Brendan Rodgers
falling off the fucking planet.
1 win in 5.
And he's saying things that are bothering the fans. He's saying,
Yes.
this is our level.
He's saying things that are like what Jose does when Jose knows things are going wrong.
Yeah.
Did you see what he said after this game? It was brilliant.
No.
Like
Yeah.
it
Blame
was
his players,
wonderful. He basically said it was a defiant performance. And it's like a defiant performance when you lose 2-0, when, not too long ago, you'd expect you to really give him a game. It's half-assing it. Like, and he's in trouble, man. Like, there's no two ways about it. If he has, let's say the next 6 or 7 games, if he doesn't pick up a couple of wins, he's really in trouble. Doesn't matter what he's done, and he has done. Let's not take it away from him. I'm a big Rodgers fan. I think he didn't get enough time at Liverpool. I really like him as a manager, but I think this is
yeah,
well,
he has a shelf
you think everyone's
life at
shit, but
clubs.
it's your team. It's
I
not
think he can
like-
only peak. I think he's got a peak,
Yeah,
and
he has
he's already peaked, and that wasn't very high. And I think
he has like a
he peaked.
3 or 4 season shelf life, and then
If
it
that.
always goes bad after about 3 seasons.
It's like a longer
I don't
version
think he's
of
done
Jose.
I don't think he's done too bad. I think he's won 2 trophies with Liverpool.
He's won
with
trophies
Leicester, hasn't he?
with
Just
Leicester.
one.
And,
It's won
and
the
this-
FA Cup.
Yeah. How many trophies have people
season
won with
is-
Tottenham?
Yeah, fuck all. That's not the
Ayo.
point. We're not talking about Tottenham, are we?
Ayo.
But
But
you're
this
talking
season
about
is
managers.
What are you talking
this
about?
is a very
He's
difficult
won
task for
2
any manager.
trophies, that's all.
They have a lot of injuries. They've had a lot of injuries the entire season. Some of the injuries are like Johnny Evans, who
rough.
will not be back this season. The Pereira, the right back position, they've been rotating in a lot of youth.
Where is Vardy?
Jamie
he
Vardy's
In and
he's
out
out
injury.
for another 6 or 7 weeks.
Wow. Okay.
His age caught up to him.
Yeah,
And it's not an easy task as a manager to navigate these waters. I just think he's now starting to do things like deflect. He could be up in front of the press and saying we're doing our best, but we are missing a lot of guys, and just have that be what he's constantly saying. Instead, he's saying, "Well, we're playing at the level that our club's at."
Yeah, it's
I mean, that might be true, but that can't be good for your team to be hearing that shit. Like Yuri Tielemans doesn't want to hear that shit.
yeah.
rumors are they've slashed his price. By the way, they reckon. I think they were holding up for 60 for Tielemans, and apparently, it's all rumors. and
Tielemans wants
speculation,
out,
but
doesn't he?
apparently, 35
out.
they'll take for him. So I
Well-
think 40 million. I think he's out the door in the summer.
There's like 8 of their guys who are entering into the last 18 months.
Yeah, it's
So-
a bit of a
Wow.
mess. It's
Ndidi, it's Tielemans, it's Mark Albrighton's coming out. I think he runs out in the summer. Madison's out in 18 months. Like they're in
this
trouble.
is a trend in football, and particularly
Yes.
in British Premier League football right now, with across the board. Almost every club have players who are holding
Agents.
on.
Yeah.
It is agents. You're right.
Agents
It's
are telling
agents
everyone
and
to get
players who are
contracts, you can
essentially
get the
trying to pilfer as much as they possibly can for themselves,
Yep.
and not thinking about the clubs that they play for.
That fee every time they
it's
go
very
on a transfer,
unfortunate.
isn't
Yep.
it? That like that 10%, whatever they negotiate. It's a worrying time for Leicester, and I can understand the fans' concern, but we'll have to see who have they got next. Does anyone know? I suppose it's coming up
Not
next.
sure.
but
We're going to
think
cover
about
it momentarily.
Yeah.
We will be.
Today, Wolves, resilient, reliable Wolves, go down to Arsenal, 10-man Arsenal, in a game that
That 10
I
man
don't
was pretty
know.
late on. Well, 70th minute, but yeah.
it didn't feel like an Arsenal deserved win to me, if I'm honest.
Scraped through it barely. I think.
They did scrape through. I thought Wolves played quite well. Wolves still obviously have some issues when it comes to putting the ball in the net.
So many good balls in the like crosses in that last 15
Yeah.
minutes when they were dominating. It was just balling, but zero product whatsoever.
On any other day, they could have easily put a 3-goal score against Arsenal today. So all that to say, Arsenal are still in touchstone of the top 4 race. This was a good
doing well.
game. It's this particular game is exciting because these guys will play each other again in the league in just 18 days.
Wow.
So I love when that turnaround comes around that fast, and there's going to be a revenge element to this.
Gotta love
But,
some revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? That's I wish I had a more exciting scoreline to share with you guys for the last game of the week.
They're our
That's
rivals.
the game week. That is the game week.
That's the game week. So we're going to get
That's game
into
week.
our start
Reviews.
Now is the part of the show where we try to identify the star player of the week, the player that is worthy of a gift certificate to ISO date, so that he, during a pandemic, can meet some friends in a safe and comfortable way. Maybe find a lady, maybe find a boy. I don't know. I don't know his bag. I'm here to ask questions.
care.
I'm just here to give awards.
We don't judge here.
This week's star player is Aston Villa's star
Oh,
Philip Coutinho.
The one
What
and
a
only.
man. What
One
a little
goal,
magician.
2 assists, 2 completed dribbles, 75% pass accuracy, which is not great, but you'll forgive him.
But he tries it
I-
higher up the field.
A 9 who scored rating. Congratulations to Philip Coutinho for making the Premier League look way easier than I thought you would. It does raise questions. Is the Premier League very easy, or are things at Barcelona so fucking bad that this guy can't perform there?
It's a strange one, isn't it? It really is, because I heard the announcer as this game was being played basically saying, like, I think it was towards the end of the game, he's like, how is this guy struggle to get into any team? You could just see it immediately as soon as he's on the pitch, the difference in quality that he
I think
brings. It's surprising.
personality and kind of mental strength as well. I think when a player is not well, like mentally, when they're not in a good place, you see a massive change. But
Oh, for sure.
I think what
Yep.
Villa fans are loving is that Coutinho now has more assists than Jack Grealish does this season, which was a nice little thing for us Villa fans to be like, well, we lost Jack, but there's little Philippe Coutinho doing great things.
I got a
That's-
question
that's
for
nice
you
to have.
guys about Mr. Coutinho. Apparently,
He's alone, right? Correct.
he is alone, and apparently we have the option to buy for 40 million euros, or roughly 34 million
Easy.
pounds.
Easy.
He's 29.
2
his
seasons.
His injury record is not great, and he went off early in this match against Leeds because he took a shot from distance and his knee kind of buckled under him. He was clearly
see
a
that.
little ginger after that. He might not be playing against Newcastle. Does a team, thinking of a business aspect, does a team spend 34 million on a 29-year-old thinking that they are not going to get more than 15 million back, maybe, if that, on a
Yes.
sale?
100%.
Don't,
Yeah.
you don't even need to get anything back.
Yeah, it doesn't even
Yes.
matter.
Yeah,
You're rich. You're a rich club. Who gives a fuck what you get back?
You'll get
Spend the
him for
money.
six-
Think of the
No,
jersey
seriously,
sales.
spend the money. Have a player in your team that is going to obviously get you wins.
Obviously do well when he
He's
plays.
gonna win you games, and if he's gonna win you games, then you pay for it. Period. It's a no brainer.
Fair enough.
But don't decide now. Like on it, like
At the
if
end of
he
the
plays
season,
4 more
Yeah.
games this season,
And then he's done.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
different like that. But if you
Yeah.
have a player that plays most of the rest of the season, 90% of the games, 85% of the games, which you would hope for, then it's a no brainer. I think.
Yeah.
And it also comes down to is Steven Gerrard doing the business for you? Do you still want Steven Gerrard to be running this club? Because it's not a mystery that he comes to play for his ex-teammate and is excited and
Yeah,
is up
he's
for it.
there for
happy,
Steve.
yeah.
He's there for Gerard, not for Villa. To be fair,
Yeah.
no offense
Right,
to Villa,
yes.
but that's the reality of it.
That's totally
So
understandable.
that's a
We
package
do
deal.
it.
So that's our star player of the week. Congratulations, Philip Coutinho. You will be emailed yet again for your validation code to ISODate.
He's getting it from a
Yes.
Villa led company as well. So there's some connection there with Isodate
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
Big time.
absolutely. It's real.
Big
It's very
time.
close to the fans' heart.
yes, exactly.
I actually get $5 every time I say ISODate.
I think I get
True, he
that. Luke
does.
owes me some money still, so
No, Paul got the data, mate. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Paul's already on.
he's taking it from me, right?
Have fun
He's
with
on
your
big-
early
It's
games.
preview time, Paul. Preview time.
He recognized an influencer when he saw one. So exciting weekend coming up. Leeds upset incoming is a storyline we'll talk about a little bit. New look Newcastle. We can expect to see some more starters from their window.
A midfielder in particular. What's his name?
Our Spurs in tough. We'll talk about that a little bit. And
Yes.
Man United this week are on the double. For any of you fantasy fans out there, they're playing twice under a fantasy umbrella and have a chance
That's it.
to use one of their games
Like
in
a late
hands.
voice. That's it.
Captain McGuire.
So we'll start with
God.
Man United hosting Southampton. This game will be about the press. I'm going to say it clearly. I'm going to say it simply. Harry Maguire cannot start this game. He shouldn't start this game because of the mistake he made last game. But even outside of that, Southampton press like fucking maniacs.
They were
and-
really, really, really incredibly good at pressing.
and
on
you
Wednesday.
can't have Harry Maguire responsible for like leading the line and bringing the ball out from the back and beating a press. It just can't happen. He's not good enough. His head's not in the game. He's going to make a mistake. It'll just continue to get worse. I say all this. I fully expect Man United to win this game. Southampton are very impressive, but this should be a win. God knows that that'll be the case.
I think if you guys can
on this game,
if you guys can do something about James Ward-Prowse, then you'll have a chance to win this game. If he has any kind of freedom like he did against Spurs, he's gonna own you for sure.
I'll tell you what they're gonna do. They'll bring in Eric Bailly because he's pretty good about being press resistant, and then he will foul everybody outside the box multiple times. And James Ward-Prowse
get a red card
and 4.
And it's pinpoint accuracy.
Lots of shots for. Well, but Ward-Prowse doesn't even need the free kick against Spurs on Wednesday. He's crossing the ball in the box and it was just on a sixpence. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. He had a game.
Yep.
Brentford hosts Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, I think they need to do something sooner or later, man. Their form is just getting tanked.
That Patrick Vieira choice of surprises is no longer looking very good. They've been piss poor for a long time now, haven't they?
I feel like as soon as you said you were surprised by how good he was,
that's right. It just
the writing was in the clouds. You're just like,
yeah, it's true. It's absolutely true. And you know what? I don't mind either way. Vieira and Palace can do one. How about that? That's for you, Stan.
And it's tricky because it seemed like they actually had a style of play for a little bit, and I cannot say they're losing in a way where I'm just like, I don't even know what team this is anymore. This isn't the Crystal Palace I remember at the start of the season. It just feels like he's lost control of the way they're playing.
Yeah, they just look nothing like that. Right?
Yeah.
I would love to get Stan on and get his thoughts on it because obviously he's watching every game. But yeah, Stan, if you're listening, we'll get you on soon and have a chat about Palace.
But Stan is like 3 up and is still effing and blinded. Oh, we're fucking shite, lads.
Yeah, I know.
Worst thing I've ever seen.
I love that about him.
You're 4 up against United.
I love that about
we're
him.
crap, mate. It's right. It's crap. Stan's reaction to everything is great.
It's the best, though. It's the best. Well, we still want to hear from him, despite it being hilarious. Especially since Palace have fallen off, the deep end, fallen into the deep end recently. It's been poor, very poor.
It seems like the middle of the pack is slowing down their results quite a bit right now.
It's true. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, because they're all thinking about the summer. Why not?
Paul, I've got to leave in 6 minutes. Do we want to do the Spurs Wolves game, or do you guys want to just do it without me?
I'll do one more and I'll jump ahead for you.
Okay.
Everton and Leeds in a game that's going to be exciting because this is basically 15th against 16th, and there might be a bit of a mathematical advantage to the winner to either get further away from or catch up to or even pass. I think this is probably the game that we're actually going to see what Frank Lampard is really doing as a manager. I think that first game against Newcastle was maybe a little bit too early.
Yeah,
this will be an interesting one because I do not expect Bielsa to do anything but then ram his players down their throat and press and press and press. I'm expecting Leeds to get a result out of this. I don't expect to see Everton looking good, and I can see people booing that team as a result.
Heavy boos for sure.
The rain will fall down with boos at Everton this weekend is what we're all saying. Going to bring it over to Spurs on Sunday. Spurs hosting Wolves. This is a challenging fixture for both teams. I think this is a good matchup for both teams, but I think this all reads as a low-scoring event. Brian, how do you feel about this one?
I'm terrified now after watching what happened on Wednesday. I'm hoping we see a response from Spurs, especially just the effort, like the pressing that was there against Brighton in the FA Cup, the way we played in the FA Cup. That game, the whole fan base was like, okay, we've got a bit of some new momentum. Some of the old players are gone. We got these new players in. Let's move forward. And then they show up and probably have the worst performance under Conte we've had. So it's kind of like I don't know what my team is if that's going to be the case. So we'll see who shows up. Eric Dyer needs to play, so hopefully he's fit, which is a strange thing to say, but it's absolutely true. And same with Oliver Skip needs to play. He's a maybe as well at this point. Both with niggle injuries, not serious, but at the same time you don't want to lose them for the season. So Wolves looking really good. I'm nervous about Wolves. They're still very tight. The goal that was scored against them today was with Arsenal was a bit of a sloppy goal. It's not something they usually give up. In the 6 yard box like
They
that.
still have one of the best, if not very
They
close
do.
to the best defensive record.
They do. They're very good defensively. Spurs do have enough going forward if they can get it to those three players up top to get in behind Wolves' defense and make them uncomfortable. Whether they'll be up for it, playing up to snuff is hard to say at this point. But I am not confident. I could see probably a 1-1 draw here would be a good result considering how shit we were yesterday.
It is only a matter of time before people start actually talking about how good the center backs are at Wolves.
Connor Cody's
been fantastic, yeah.
And matchups like against Harry Kane start like bringing that to the forefront. But be
interesting to see that battle. Actually, I agree.
There's some talent there. There's some talent. Going back up to Saturday.
On that note, just before you go up, I'm gonna bounce. Take this moment. Cheers, guys. Usually I don't leave. I'm usually here to the end. Paul, I'm sure you're okay with finishing it off properly. Lads, see you again soon. Everybody who's watching, see you again soon. Like and subscribe. Check out our other videos. I'm out. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye. The last time Brian Ireland asked me to finish it up properly, it wasn't what I was expecting either, and I did not like it. And I just wanted to use this time to talk to you guys about it because it's very emotional for me.
And I'm gonna ease away.
Well, show me on the bear where he touched you.
It was the side of my face with his cheek, and then not his cheek.
What is happening? Why can't we just go back to football?
Pod?
Oh, fine. Okay, you've changed. You used to love talking about sexual innuendo, and now you're all changed. Brian controlled the stuff that was on screen, and it's gone now, guys. It's just gone forever.
What?
I did think this when he was just easing out. I'm like, how is this going to work? Oh, well, thanks, Brian.
It's a thing. But I know what the scores are. On Saturday, Watford are going to be drawing Brighton. It's a predetermined event. Nobody can change it. It's not something that anyone has any power to control. Not the players, not the managers, not the guy in the sky. Brighton and Watford are going to draw this weekend. You can put your mortgage on it.
Yeah.
But then you'd be betting on Watford to do something predictable, and that's not going to win you a bet. So, yeah, I don't know.
So, with our luck, it's going to be 4-0 Brighton.
No, with our luck, we'll never put the money down, and then we'll be back here next week going, we could have made thousands of dollars, but none of us did it. Norwich.
We didn't have the bowls.
That's a soft W. Norwich are going to get spanked by Man City. They're going to invite them to their home.
They're going to
say,
spank
hey guys,
Man City.
Hey, Kevin De Bruyne, why don't you come into our house? Let us look at our house, and then just feast on the goals you can score, Kevin De Bruyne. Just feast.
I don't know. They've been playing good football.
No.
They've been
4-0.
playing. No.
4-0 City.
No.
I just think their players are too quick. They're too good.
Feast on the goals.
Yes.
I don't know, man. Norwich have been playing well. He's got them drilled well. You know.
They have been playing well, but this is Manchester City. This is not.
Yeah. Wait, hold on, Luke. Are you actually thinking Dean Smith and Norwich are going to get a result here?
I don't know, man. I'm not sure. Something is telling me that this might not be as crazy as we thought. You know, would you have said that Crystal Palace would have beaten City 2-0 back in October and then beat Wolves the week after? I wouldn't, based on what we're seeing with Crystal Palace now. So I don't know. I think it's still a Premier League game versus another Premier League team, and City are amazing. But you know, does City ease off? Does Pep start messing around because he's so far forward? I don't know.
So your stance is you never know. You're really picking a side of the fence.
My stance, it's a very safe stance, and I can be either British, or if the non-British win, I can just ease on over those and let the Savages have their country.
How does a girl ever date you? What a riddle you are. How do they get through to your heart with this down the middle shit that you pull?
There is no heart to get through.
Oh, that's the clue. That's the clue. Burnley are going to host Liverpool. Burnley are going to do their absolute
best. That is
best
a spanking. That's a
shut up shop. Burnley are they're gonna fight for 95 minutes and they're gonna lose to Liverpool. And again, there's nothing anybody can do about it. I am a little excited to see what this Weghorst guy is about. Having seen him up close and personal against Man United,
he looked good in his match.
He looks like a proper big fucking fella.
He reminded me of Peter Crouch.
Less awkward, I thought, but yes.
Yeah.
No robots.
Crouch is a great
good with
ball
his
player.
feet.
Gray was a
good with
great
his
ball
feet.
player.
Yeah.
Great ball.
Oh, Peter Crouch was fantastic. Like, he wasn't a guy that was even that good in the air. He was,
And he's
his
funnier
first
than
touch was
shit.
insane.
His touch
first
was unbelievable.
His touch was great.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
But this-
So I am excited to see this guy play some more. But having seen Burnley again up close and personal, resilient, well organized. But if you get at them early, they're not going to score another 2 goals to get back into a game. So I expect Liverpool to learn from what Man United didn't learn and just get ahead early and just put it away.
Yep.
Question marks on if Mo Salah starts. I still think he gets rested for a little bit longer because they're going to need him.
Yes, I think you're
Yeah.
probably right on that one. I'd stick
Everyone-
with Jota.
It was weird because when he got rested for the game today, there was a lot of people being like, oh my gosh, they're already starting to phase out Salah. It's like, no, dude, he just had to play 10 games.
I don't think
in a month or
anyone
stuff
said
like that.
Where did you see
No,
that? I
think it was ESPN posted something like that on popped up on my phone.
Controversial
That's
posts get comments, JP. That's
Kind
what I
of
keep telling you.
shameless
It's
clickbait
what I
that we
keep-
will never do here at the North End.
swiped
we
and was
will.
done.
We will never
It's
do
coming.
that.
In
Okay.
that
It
case,
is
wait
coming.
for the Mason Greenwood special.
Oh,
man.
can't wait.
The
The next game is
young man.
lovingly referred to as the Battle of Britain for the soul of Britain. Clickbait. Newcastle hosting Aston Villa. Newcastle,
I hate them
their
so much.
nouveau
I
riche,
do too.
big money, big spenders, 90 million in the window. Face off against a team that also spent a lot of money in the window.
We
This
did.
We did.
two of the most
25 mil?
impacted window teams playing against each other, and I expect to see everybody that was bought make an appearance this game in what I don't even know how to I don't know what Newcastle are anymore. They won a game, 2 games in a row even.
They
And
even
that
look
was
a little
shocking.
good defensively.
Did it?
It's because they've bought a whole new defense.
Yeah, they bought a whole new defense. So I'm going to say they looked a little bit better.
You
The
know
problem
what?
is go ahead, Luke.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, like, everyone got all excited with that money, the Sheikh money flying around. There was all that. Oh, it's Mbappe, and it's in. I think what the transfer window showed was the reality of you're still, who you are. But they managed. They still. I think Eddie Howe bought really well. In fairness, I think Trippier is a great acquisition. What a goal that was. Matty Target's a good solid left back. They bought some great players in the middle. Like. They had a good window, and I think that good window I don't think Newcastle are anywhere near worried about going down. I like based on even just that 1 week and the teams below them. I think they're already safe, but I still think Villa will do them. I really do. I think we're hungry after conceding 3. I think you'll see a different defensive performance.
I worry
but I
about
don't know.
Danny Ings. Or what?
Danny
Well, therefore lack of Danny Ings, mate.
Yeah.
Therefore lack
What's
of.
going on there?
Well, they can't fit him into a system, can they, JP? It's like he doesn't.
No.
We've tried. JP has said, and he's not wrong on that one. Like they playing him with Watkins, and as much as I want it, as much as it just doesn't work. They're not fluid, and so he's trying to find his best 11, and as much as it's not Ings, and yeah, it's worrying really.
Steven Gerrard has a setup of a 4-3-2-1. And he likes to play the 2 as 2 10s, and that means 1 lone forward. Watkins' press is way better. His fitness is just way better than Danny
He's an
Ings
animal.
is.
Yeah.
He's insane. But to me, Watkins looks unhappy. He doesn't look very pleased with how the system is playing. He doesn't.
No,
I just don't think he's liking the style of play that we're playing at the minute. I don't think he likes his role. And to me, Danny Ings doesn't give us that pressing nature. He doesn't give us the physical attributes that Watkins give. I think he'd actually play better with Coutinho and Buendia and Ramsey, and I feel like that's the type of style that would work, but he doesn't give us the defensive side of the game as a forward should. But that's
any other young strikers that we could be looking at?
Yeah, Davis. Oh wait, we sent him out on loan.
Yeah, or low and Archer as well. Yeah,
and we said
both
we
on
don't
loan.
have any other strikers really. So
Yeah.
I'm a little
They
weird
weren't good
because
enough.
we haven't won at Newcastle in 10 years.
Have we not? Jesus.
No.
Well,
Yeah, it's
you kind of missed your chance. If this game was in before January,
I know. Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
They are looking much better, but they are still shit. So I gotta think Aston Villa right now, healthy Philip Coutinho on the heels of what I just saw against Leeds.
If he plays,
Newcastle are not Leeds. The pace of play will not be the same. Their goals that they scored recently were ugly as shit. One of them was an own goal.
But we're giving up ugly goals.
Trippier is not going to score that goal every week, and there's nobody else that can do anything like that on that team. So I think Aston Villa should be comfortable here. I'm not sold that Newcastle are all of a sudden going to be a team that are going to beat everybody. They're going to do enough to get out of the bottom, I think. Although I would struggle to tell you who replaces them in the bottom between Burnley
your good energy and feeling
Everton.
it.
So I don't know. It's good energy. I think you guys got it.
I need that energy.
Leicester, however, I do not think have got it. I think they're looking for another loss against the cat beating West Ham team. It's the irony here is that a fox is an animal and it's going to get abused by a bunch of hammers.
Fuck.
And I don't like
You
it.
kick one cat, and all of a sudden,
It's racism.
It's absolutely, yeah, exactly. Nick Michael Antonio is, hey, I kicked a cat. Does that make me a racist? I'm like, nope, nobody asked you.
No,
that.
leave Antonio out of here. He's way too Jamaican. I like him too much for you to pick on him.
I love
I love
how can you
him.
not love Antonio? That poor
But
guy's
now
had
I don't
such
like
a brunt of a
Ozuna.
career. You know what? It's not great. I don't know. You wonder if maybe the cat enjoys it. Maybe they've got a fond camaraderie that we're not privy to.
You think it was consensual?
Maybe the cat. Maybe it's a playful thing. They did it in Don't
Did you
Mess
see
with the
the
Zoa.
outfit the cat was wearing? It invited it on. Are we not? Oh, we weren't going in that way. Okay, never mind.
Oh, that was
Right.
Paul. Move on. Paul, move on very quickly. Move on.
I did that on purpose.
Paul's pretending to
I was
freeze.
frozen, guys. I missed everything. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Oh,
I like
JP.
Sorry. I wasn't there for the past 30 seconds because you saw my face was frozen, right? That's the entirety of the game. The bonus game, we'll call it, the makeup game, the rescheduling game is it's going to be a draw.
Yeah,
Man
it's gonna be a
United
draw.
are going to host Brighton, and it's going to be a draw. And again, nobody can stop it. Nobody can change it. It's the reality of what it is.
$10,000
Ronaldo's going to
bet.
score 3 goals and then go off at the 85th minute, and somehow Brighton are going to draw.
3 goals. Vardy
'Cause
will
that's
come on
just
out
it.
of nowhere.
That's just it. The exciting thing, I think, for everybody to be aware of, especially if you're a United fan, is that this is going to be a bit of an audition for Yves Bissouma. This is a shop window game for him. He is exactly the profile player that Man United are looking for. He knows it. We know it. He's one of many. But if he can come into Old Trafford and put on a show, that's weirdly a lot of what the decision making that happens at Man United are those kind of close counter events. It's why we like Neves. It's because what he does when he comes to Old Trafford is you can't miss it. It's why I think Yves Bissouma is going to be a special player this day. And I think you're going to see the Man United midfield specifically really have a hard time with him.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to see what Bissouma can do against fucking Paul Pogba, because I think they're going to see each other a lot this game.
Ooh, that would
And
be
I'm
That's
excited.
a great battle.
That could be.
I'm not even rooting for Pogba. I'm a Man United fan, and I'm not even rooting for Pogba. I'm just like, I want to see what Bissouma
just
can
got
do.
me excited by that. You just got me excited.
well,
I like
yeah.
the sound of that game now. Yeah, definitely.
Some draws have little battles that are more fun to watch than other draws,
That's true.
but it's a draw. That's it.
It is a draw.
So that's the game week, guys. It's going to be a fun one. It always is. It's the Premier
Yep.
League. Doesn't matter if
Just
it's just a
happy it's
one-team
back.
league or if it's,
We enjoy it. We have a good
if
time.
it's not. But look at us, guys. Who would have thought? Mexico, California, Toronto, all coming together to talk about the beautiful sport of beating up cats.
Exactly. It's not just for the mid. No, I won't. I won't. I didn't say anything. I didn't
No.
say anything.
No. What?
But JP did, and if you missed that, be sure to rewind.
5 minutes ago.
I'm gonna tag in the comments the exact moment
No,
JP
no,
said
no,
that. You
no,
can do that.
no,
You can
no.
tag it exactly
No, no,
at
no,
this
no.
time. That'll be great fun.
No.
That
Oh, the
unearths a precedent we should not bring into the world.
And guys, it's been fun being on North Ed Podcast. I am now canceled.
Yeah.
And
Hey, before
What's
you
gonna
get canceled completely, go finish filming your 5 things.
I will do that right now, actually.
All right.
I'm gonna do that right now.
Boys, always a
Alrighty.
blast. Audience,
For sure.
this is the part where I have to contractually ask you all to subscribe and like. It helps us. We want you to like this button. It makes me feel good. These guys
Why
like
haven't
it.
you done it yet? Like, who hurt you? Why have you not pressed that button? We
good
are looking
I
at
thought
your
you were talking about
IPs.
something else.
Actually,
I was like,
no,
what are
we're
we
gonna
talking
actually start
about?
looking at these IPs. Why have you not done it?
Yeah.
It's a good question. Do you want to just take a minute to like scold them, just like really get in about it?
People that don't press the subscribe button, It's outrageous. And we're still live. So that's fun.
No, I was giving
I
you
don't know
your
what's
soapbox.
happening.
I was
Not
giving
bad.
you your soapbox.
I sorry, I didn't realize. I was worried that you'd left, and I was like,
I was putting the spotlight on you.
It's like Luke, like
I can't. No, do you know what? I'll take it. I'll take that spotlight. No, it's
All right, here comes the spotlight. Center stage.
Okay. Do you know what? If you don't subscribe, you're the type of person that kicks a cat, that upsets Mika. When the mic went. There it is.
No,
Oh,
I
it's
hit
gone.
mute. I
Come
just
on.
thought it'd be funnier if I hit mute.
Oh, why would you do that? It
Should
was a
have
great
ended
rant.
the pod. Ended the
was a
pod
great rant.
right then.
I heard
was
kick
a
a cat and I hit
great-
mute.
Yeah, I was like, great rant.
All right.
Right, not enough.
Boys,
I'm leaving.
like and subscribe. All of you guys. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.
Or not. We're still live.
I'm not.
This is the North End. This is the North